What's up, everybody? It's your man, Governor Wildstar, Nickolas Wildstar, candidate for California governor here. What's up? This is the last free Wildstar video because I'm free. Woohoo! Yeah. All that good stuff. Let the crowd go wild and the fair begin because, as you heard, I am a free man and I'm rolling some celebratory, libations here right now. And wanted to tell you guys about everything that happened and also talk about a little bit of what to expect here in the future from your man, Governor Wildstar, me, since I am, again, a candidate running for California governor and am still actively campaigning. So for all of you people out there that are not aware, please check out my website, wildstar2022.com. There it is right there at the bottom of the screen. Check it out, wildstar2022.com. Please be sure to spread the word, share with others, connect with me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. And let's definitely do what we can to help push the liberty movement here in California and bring back liberty. It's much needed now more than ever before, since our civil liberties and constitutional rights and all that good stuff is being heavily ignored and is being depleted by our totalitarian government. So if we want to make a move, we got to do so right now. Can't wait till tomorrow. Can't wait till 2022. Can't wait till 2024, the next presidential election. We need change right here, right now, which is why the people of California have been pushing to recall Governor Gavin Newsom, and it looks as if we're going to be successful. Yeah, more applause. We have collected over 2 million signatures now. Count that, over 2 million signatures have been collected to recall Governor Gavin Newsom. So next week, or this week, St. Patty's Day, it will be confirmed as to how many signatures have been collected, along with, of course, how many of those are eligible to see if the recall election will be happening. And if so, that will be happening late summer, I would say maybe August, September, or something like that. But you'll be seeing me on that ballot, so expect to hear more from me over the next few months. Everything that you guys do to help spread the word out there and inform others about my candidacy aids in that effort. So please keep spreading the word, okay? Far and wide. It definitely helps every corner of the earth. I got people contacting me from Germany and Russia and Spain and Algeria and Ghana and all sorts of places. I'm just overwhelmed and ecstatic about all of the support that I've received. So that's what it's going to take, is us coming together in numbers to making this happen. I got a few comments here that I want to go through. Thank you to all of you that are dropping comments here, like Harold, who says, "Go Nick." What's up, Harold? Thank you so much. I'm definitely going to keep pushing the envelope, my friend. And Anthony, who says, "Let's go, let's go, let's go." For sure, let's go indeed. We're about to make this happen here in the state of California, but as I said, we need all of you people out there to get involved in the effort to recall Gavin Newsom and elect Wildstar for governor, okay? It's a two-part type of call to action here. One, get rid of the damn governor that we have. Two, get me elected as governor. So that's the new call to action now. We're shifting from free Wildstar to recalling Governor Gavin Newsom. What's up, Yeshua, who says, "I'm here early, have to dip, have a company on the way." Okay, most definitely. Brian Healy, who says, "Congratulations, thank you so much." As well as Luke Shaw, who says, "Let's go, fuck the dirty police." And Dexathios, Stoner. What's up, Dexathios? I remember you. He said it's not totalitarian, it's a corporate regime. Ain't that the truth? Euban says, good evening, fellow statists. Welcome, Euban. I love that sarcasm because there's a lot of statists around here. They need to know who they are. We're going to be able to be sure to point them people out for sure. Thank you so much, DeSantios. And Amy says, Freedom Thinkers Unite, Libertarian Party. We'll talk about that too. Has nothing to me to do with the Libertarian Party, more so that has to do with the liberty movement, okay? I got involved or introduced to libertarianism as a little L libertarian. If you Libertarian Party members out there know what that means, or if you're not involved in the Libertarian Party and don't know what that means, little L libertarian is somebody that is just promoting the idea, probably even registered libertarian, but an independent or whatever the case may be, against the two-party system, not a Libertarian Party member. Big L libertarians are Libertarian Party members, and also, of course, libertarian candidates, those people that get involved with the party itself on the local level as well as national level. So those are the big L libertarians, just like I guess you could call the big D Democrats are the people that are actually involved with the Democratic Party, and big R Republicans are people actually involved with the Republican Party. Everybody else that's just registered a Democrat or Republican or Libertarian for that matter, not involved with the party, you're a little L or a little D, a little R, or whatever. Okay. So when it comes to being involved in the liberty movement, I'm completely supportive of that. However, with regards to getting involved in the Libertarian Party, especially here in California, I must say otherwise because of my own feelings. But if you want to get involved on the local level, get involved with the party, change the party to make it more supportive of grassroots activists such as myself, people that are outspoken against the two-party system and is unorthodox. You know, I don't fit in any of the boxes that they try to make me, try to pigeonhole me into, whether it's the right or the left or in the middle, with these damn libertarians, fuck Chuck. You guys haven't heard. Fuck Chuck Ham. Check my Twitter feed or whatever if you want to find out more about that situation. But that's why I'm saying I'm not down for, party politics, is because of people like Chuck Ham. Fuck Chuck Ham. Cuck the Chuck. Chuck the Cuck. For real. Get rid of damn governor we have. Yes, indeed, Carlos. I'm down for that. Dexanthio says, no, it's a corporate facade to our sovereign nation government. We need to legally hold the corporation liable and reinstate the sovereign government. For real, though. That's why I'm here, man. I get elected. That's exactly what I'm going to be doing, is restoring our sovereignty as Americans. Since we do live in a sovereign country, our government should be recognizing our sovereignty as individuals, but it does not. It treats us like servants, slaves, when really they're the ones that are servants of the state, which is we the people. They're servants of we the people. The state is serving we the people. If not, then we are living under the dictatorship, and we, in essence, are still living under a ruler, whether it's a king or a queen or a dictator or a totalitarian or a draconian or whatever the case may be. Somebody else telling us what we should be doing with our lives instead of us thinking for ourselves and making up our own choices and choosing for ourselves as to what we want to do with our own lives. So I'm all for that, definitely. Karen Thompson says, hey, what's up, Karen? Dexathio says, I totally agree. This is not about the Libertarian Party in any way. I'm totally against the two-party system. I am also Daxant on Facebook. Hit me up. I definitely will. And Andre says, glad you beat the bullshit case, man. Although any punishment for that crime is stupid, I'm happy to see you here, Gov. Yes, yes, indeed. I'm right here, man. I'm still able to keep fighting the good fight for we the people on the outside as a free man, instead of behind bars in jail like they were attempting to do to me. Amy Rawlings says, interested. So you're independent libertarian makes sense. That ironically, the name of the group I run. All right, I'm going to share their independent libertarian educational page. Please do share with me, share with others. And we do exist, Amy. You know what I'm saying? We just got to be able to vocalize our stance on the two-party system and let people know this is a place where you're invited. If you feel like you're politically homeless, and you don't fit in on the far right and you don't fit in on the far left, or even just a little bit, or with the centrists, or you don't fit in any of those political labels, then get in with the independent libertarianism, because it's definitely rising. And if we get some organization going, we could possibly have the opportunity to run some successful candidates such as myself, get them elected, and take over this two-party system and put it back into the hands and control of we the people where it belongs. I do have a guest with me who I want to introduce to you guys. He's been popping in and out backstage, so hopefully we got a good connection and he'll be able to stick around for the rest of the chat. But with no further ado, I'd like to introduce to you my main man, the cameraman. What's up, cameraman?
Hey, everybody. Good evening.
How you doing, brother?
Good. Hopefully everything is sorted out now, and my connection will be stable.
Absolutely, yeah. So far, you are still here. You were popping in and out backstage.
Yes.
But you look like you're connected, and we'll be sticking around for the rest of the chat. So I've been running through some comments. I got a lot of people talking to us here, and
yes, I see them.
I want to discuss holding them accountable in court. We want to also. That's what me and cameraman is all about, holding our government officials accountable in court. So if you guys haven't heard, I was arrested for videotaping in court. I had some traffic tickets back in 2018, which I appeared in court for. I videotaped those court appearances. The judge didn't like it. He told me to put away my cell phone, stop recording. I refused to, let him know I had the constitutional right to do so under the First, Sixth, and Ninth Amendment. Look them up. But yes, you have constitutional rights that are protected, you have rights that are constitutionally protected. I informed of this. They didn't like it, threw me out of the courtroom. And each time that I was there, my man cameraman was there with me.
Yeah. And
you'll see him right there with me.
And matter of fact, let me grab it real quick.
Since you were with me, I want you to tell the people out there a little bit about what you saw, with your own eyes, and of course, what you were doing there during that time.
Yeah. Well, of course, what I was doing there.
What were you doing there?
I was to attend the hearing, and most importantly, to record it as well. I have this body camera right here, if everybody can see, and I'm going to demonstrate it for everyone. It takes a minute to boot up here, but had a body cam right here. This is the way I normally dress when I'm in court, with a nice suit and everything. And let's start recording. And does anybody notice anything? Does anybody see anything? Yeah, right here. There's a green blinking light. So I'm sitting in the audience with this body camera with this green blinking light when all these deputies come in to remove Governor Wildstar for recording and exercising his rights in court, but yet the white kid sitting in the audience with the obvious camera blinking, recording, And you'll see it in the video. If you go back and watch the videos, it's on there, it's recording, and none of them say anything to me. But Governor Wildstar, it's a different story. And they charged him with contempt of court for exercising his rights to record in court. And even when I went up on the stand at his hearing a couple weeks ago for the trial in this matter and said on the stand that I recorded one of those said hearings, they didn't care.
Now, you know what's crazy is you're talking about this body cam. That it's obvious that you're wearing it. You know what I'm saying? First and foremost. Right. But you just said how you brought it up during the trial that you were also recording, and there wasn't any acknowledgement of that whatsoever at all. No. The judge didn't say anything. The prosecutor didn't say anything. They kind of didn't want to bring more attention to the fact that you also were recording during those very same court appearances, correct?
Right. Right. Why do you think that is? Well, I didn't think they want to establish a pattern that other people are allowed to record and other people are not allowed to record. Your attorney brung it up that I have engaged in other recording at courts without any issues. And when she brung that up to establish that that certain people are not, being allowed to record while others are, the prosecutor objection, narrative. And she explained, well, Your Honor, he's prepared to testify that he was recently caught and had a judge say that he was okay to record and nothing happened to him. And when she explained that, they didn't want to hear it. They didn't want that on the record that I got caught. The judge said, and matter of fact, since they didn't get to go into super detail, I'll go into it briefly. The judge in that matter, the whole thing is I had the sheriff's deputy come and take my phone. But the main point is the judge, when all the DAs in the room and the sheriff sergeant was contempt of court. Look, he was recording on his cell phone. The judge said, well, I didn't see anything. We're off the record now. And she just grabbed her plaque and she quickly marched away. And then they had to go all the way back to her office and they had a secret discussion about me, which I wasn't privy to because they're in the back room. And I had to sit in the courtroom and wait for my property to be returned to me that was taken without a warrant into a judge's chambers to do who knows what with over alleged recording. But yet my property was returned to me, and a very angry sergeant marched me out of the courthouse and upset that he couldn't take me into custody that day. But I wonder what the jury's influence would have been if they heard me say that, and yet you, who recorded with your cell phone and was escorted out of court by deputies and never arrested on any of those days, I wonder how they would have saw that.
I agree with you. I definitely would like to have known what the jury's response would have been to that information, which was pretty much kept from them. That's why I am also saying that there was jury tampering, is because, they were told only certain information, and it was more so instructions that came from the judge and the prosecutor, opposed to it having to come from them in accordance with the law. It was more so just reciting what court rules are, and rules aren't laws. I mean, you actually brought up a great point, because cameraman is very sharp, y'all. Not only sharply dressed, but sharply minded as well. He turns to my attorney. He says, they're trying to prosecute him for this court rule or whatever. But if you look at the sign pretty much just says no recording in court. It doesn't say anything about, or the penalty will be, It does not recite which penal code, aka law, that basically backs up that California rule, or sign that says you can't record in court. So he brought this up about how this sign doesn't have this penal code to support it, to make it lawful, and still my attorney didn't bring up this information, nor was it discussed in court. So why do you think that they didn't want to talk about how, their court rule essentially was, contradicted by this law, and it didn't have a law, especially the 148G. It's contradictory there for real.
Yes. I think they didn't want to talk about it is because they didn't want to acknowledge the fact that well, maybe there might be some wrongdoing here, but I think it mainly stems with this sort of stigma of, oh, we got to have rules or there'll be chaos and disorder and blah 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 blah. And they want to argue, well, because the judge said so, it falls under Penal Code 166, contempt of court. If the
Right.
and you've brought up a great point that the judge can say whatever you want, basically, he wants to say, and if you don't agree to it and listen to it, well, you're contemptuous.
Exactly.
It's like a toddler. Eat your vegetables. No, Your Honor. Well, you're contemptuous. I'm holding you in contempt.
Exactly.
It's just childish.
Yeah, it's sad that we got to use such an example when the logical ones are going over people's heads. So when you use the kind of watered down layman's explanation to say, hey, if the judge told you you had to jump up and down, that would be a lawful order, and if you did not, the judge could have you arrested and thrown in jail because of it. It's that simple, But people would say, why would the judge tell you to jump up and down? Okay, again, just making,
Right.
making an example here. But in my case, I'm being told not to, to put away my cell phone, which is something that he's just arbitrarily doing. There is no law against it. And like you've been saying here, he says, I'm truly confused just exactly how the robbed court wizard gets to disregard laws and make his own that take precedence over legislated code. You're damn right, Euban. Not to mention legislated code, but the United States Constitution, which says freedom of press. He kept saying about how this case has nothing to do with the First Amendment, okay, or freedom of speech. The First Amendment not only covers freedom of speech, people, it also covers freedom of religion, okay, freedom of press, freedom of speech, okay, say whatever you want, speak your mind, freedom of religion, you can get involved in whatever religion that you want, have whatever faith that you want, freedom to assemble, okay, freedom to protest, say I don't like shit, and freedom of press. 5 things. Freedom of press, one of them. Now, we've had tons of cases here in America where that's been defined as to also include citizen journalism. What is a citizen journalist? Any citizen that decides to journalize, anything,
Right.
So any public event. So in this case, it was my own court case. That's a public event. A court case is a public place. A courthouse is a public place. It's just like City Hall. It's just like a library. It's just like a park. It's a public place where anybody can go. Anybody from the public can enjoy, what it has to provide. In this case, it's a legal place. So anybody from the public can go into a courtroom, should be able to watch legal proceedings. So, cameraman, one thing about this is a lot of people don't have that understanding because they're looking at what's happening right now with this whole coronavirus lockdown, and they're saying, well, they should be able to dictate who comes in the courtroom and who doesn't. So I want to ask you, just from your own personal experiences, since you've been in tons of courthouses, pre-COVID, what was your experience then, and what is it now with all of the precautions that they have put in place to supposedly keep us safe?
Well, pre-COVID, pretty much just like a normal courthouse. I mean, we should have a Fourth Amendment right to, be free from unreasonable searches, but, normal courthouse, just go through security and, they just pretty much, let you go about your business. They'd let you wander the whole entire building if you didn't know where you were going, not bother you one bit. But now, because of COVID, yes, thank you. Sorry that I was interrupted there. Where was pre-COVID? They allow you to roam around the courthouse freely, no problems.
Now, when you were going to the courthouse, did you have any business there, or you were just there as a person of the public?
Pretty much a person of the public. Or I would have media requests, but pretty much, you could go in as a person of the public. I specifically remember, before COVID, one day I went down. I said, well, I just want to go to court today and see what's going on. And I went into every single courtroom that was having a hearing, and I was only asked by one person, and that was an attorney, if I was there for the drug calendar, and I wasn't. But other than that, no problems. Now, that's changed. A little bit different down in Orange County compared up here in Butte County, but it's pretty much about the same right now. In Butte County here, right now, and even before, even with this COVID stuff on, they were letting people in the courtrooms as so long as there was seating and spacing available to social distance throughout the courtroom. But now you can go into the clerk's office and file paperwork. You just got to walk in, have your mask, take your temperature, and then go through security, and you can go to the clerk's office and do paperwork. But unless you're specifically on calendar, they won't let you into the courtroom. Now, they've let me into the courtroom because a specific judge at that courthouse has stated to me in the courtroom that my cameras may not have a right to be in the courtroom, but the press themselves have a First Amendment right to be in the courtroom as part of freedom of the press. So right. These deputies are aware of that, and since I'm there notoriously, they haven't bothered me about COVID. Only a few times, but unless the courtroom is full of people, they won't really bother me about it. But down there in Orange County, where I attended your trial, things are a lot different and a lot more hassle-some. There is, the first day, it was a 2-hour line out there for you to get in. I got there early before you did, and I still had to wait about 45 minutes to get into the building. And they want you to wait in line to come up to a tablet with someone on the other end, and if you are on the list or have business there that they recognize, they will print you out this. Matter of fact, I have it right here.
Permission slip.
Yeah.
To enter.
You get.
Let me see.
You get your papers here, and they want you to sign in at the kiosk there. Get this pink piece of paper that says where you're going, which courtroom you're going to, the date, and your name. And this is supposedly to help COVID, but I mean, they don't even bother to take your temperature or ask for a phone number or any sort of information in theory to do contact tracing, because in theory, if you're taking everybody's names down, well, you should be taking their phone numbers down, because in theory, it's to reach out to you in case there's an outbreak to say that you may or may not have been contaminated. Right. But they're not even doing that. It's just about control, because the violent deputies at the front there will physically remove you if you do not have your papers. I mean, literally, Sieg Heil. You need your papers to come through the checkpoint. If you do not have your papers, you have to go out. And you cannot walk through the checkpoint and go out through the normal door exit. You have to walk through everybody in the line and go out that door.
Right.
We experienced that firsthand yesterday.
Entrances and exits for, I guess, people that have been verified by the state. So, yeah, Dexantio says he wants to get at you. Need contact information. So please contact the cameraman on YouTube. The cameraman, all one word, just as it sounds. Just as it says right there on his name tag.
You can, send an email, all lowercase. The cameraman is watching at yahoo.com.
There you have it right there. Just gave his email address, which is his name again, the cameraman at yahoo.com. The cameraman,
the cameraman is watching at yahoo.com, all lowercase.
The cameraman is watching at yahoo.com. So Dexantios, feel free to reach out to him as well as anyone else that wants to, connect with him and find out more about what he can do to help you, especially if you're here in the state of California, because he's helped me become more familiar about certain penal codes, which he is very fluent in, more fluent than most police officers.
Yeah.
And we're reciting PC code to them, and they're like, what? Let me get the PC deck, which is this big, thick-ass book, of codes, and traffic codes and all sorts of other codes, fire and safety codes.
Yeah. Here's the state vehicle code book from.
Oh my God! Look at that. That's mind-blowing. Do any of you out there know how many laws are in that book? That where you as a driver probably have broken one or more of those vehicle codes, and just haven't been ticketed for it, and that's mainly more so because it either doesn't generate enough revenue for the state, or the police officer that's enforcing that law is completely unaware of it. But they definitely take advantage of it. But back to what you were saying about pre-COVID versus post-COVID or whatever, or COVID time, since we're still in it.
Yeah.
You basically said that before all of this, you were easily able to go into courtrooms unaccosted, unharassed. But now, mainly in Orange County, because it's looser out there in Butte County, they do recognize you as a member of the press.
To a degree. To a degree.
And they don't attempt
to say when it comes to recording, I'm not media. Even though they specifically state the court rule, and that court rule says any form, any person engaged in news gathering, and in the very bottom subsection there, when it's defining what a media agency is, it says all other forms of, media agency or news gathering agency. And that's what a YouTube channel can be.
Now, what's messed up is why does it need to be defined what's media, who's media, whatever the case may be. If media is media, it's whoever says I'm media. And, you shouldn't need a badge to prove it or get approval by the state in order to call yourself media. Again, a citizen journalist technically is considered a media representative, and we have had situations here in California, including with the judge that was presiding over my case, where citizen journalists have been prosecuted for exercising their First Amendment rights and have beat off those charges, like with the judge that presided over my case, which dismissed charges against some citizen journalists that were recording the protests over the Kelly Thomas killing. So it's sad that, again, we have a exercising of rights by certain group of people being recognized, respected, opposed to where other people's exercising those same rights are having them violated, such as myself. So this dynamic does exist a lot more than people understand. So I want to take this opportunity to, of course, to, point that out to people as much as possible. But fast forward to what's going on now and what happened, since we did recently also have a protest outside of my sentencing trial or sentencing hearing, which was this past Friday. So just so you guys know, again, if you haven't, check out the website, governorwildstar.com/freewildstar. I got rid of that banner, but check it out, governorwildstar.com/freewildstar. You can find out more about what happened to me, my fight against the courts and the judicial system to, again, respect my First Amendment right. It wasn't, and I was criminally prosecuted and found guilty of contempt of court and was prosecuted for 6 charges of contempt. This resulted in a sentencing hearing, which I just had on Friday, yesterday. And the cameraman was there, as well as a few other people, to protest against my sentencing. And excuse me, we gathered outside of the Santa Ana courthouse at 8 a.m., raised some hell. We had a megaphone and signs and hearts that were full of passion and content for this court. So we wanted to express that as much as we did. But this ended up resulting in me being charged for the crime. And I was sentenced to 1 month in jail, with 9 days of that being time served, since I did spend 9 days in jail when I was first arrested in December. So 9 days off of the 30 days in jail, ended up getting 21 days, which was stayed pending completion of a 1-year informal probationary period. So for 1 year, I must stay out of trouble, don't break the law, which is another thing cameraman brought up, is something that we technically do already anyways, just as people in America, is we're already on informal probation, because if we break any laws, we got to go to jail, and they take us straight to jail. Do not pass go, do not collect $200. In my case, they'll just be tacking on an extra 21 days. I also was given 40 hours of community service, which they allowed me to fill here in Fresno. So now I got a full 40-hour week worth of community service to do before September. Oh, and they also charged me $570 in court fines and fees and whatever the case may be. So I was extorted on top of this. So another thing cameraman brought up, I got a little bit of all of the above, It wasn't just one penalty, it wasn't just probation or just a fine or just 30 days in jail. It was all of that, I want to ask you, cameraman, since you were there, why do you feel like they felt inclined to throw the book at me, so to speak? And what was also the response outside of the courthouse with all of the protesting that was going on?
Well, I think they felt inclined to throw the book at you, primarily because you expose the Orange County courts for what corrupt thieves they are. Courthouses are not what you see on TV, ladies and gentlemen. There's no gaveling, there's no dramatic witnesses and all this stuff. It's really a bank where money in business is conducted, where transactions happen. They have a whole, clerk's office where they take hundreds of thousands of dollars every day from people like you, me, your grandma, everybody. No one is immune from the thievery that is the court system. And especially when you make a video that gets over 2.7 million views, they don't take that kindly. and especially too when you settle a lawsuit around the same time that they decide to file the charges 11 months before the statute of limitations expire. uh you know, they're just, you know, they're crooked. They're corrupt, crooked, evil people down there. Um, and in regards to, you know, the sentencing, they're like, well, we got to get them with everything we can. You know, let's do a little bit of both. I mean, they wanted to get you financially. They wanted to take your time, which I think is going to backfire on them because, I mean, ladies and gentlemen, the community activist gets community service. I mean, isn't that what activists do anyways? We service our community to improve it for the better. Um, and in response for the protesting outside, uh, after you went in, after your speech and everything, about 5 minutes later, they sent out these two deputies with these papers of orders to give to everybody that, you know, in accordance with Penal Code 169, there's no picketing, protesting outside in front of the courthouse. And I did actually look up that penal code yesterday. Um, and yeah, he does have a that is a law that a penal code is, but it's a little more specific than that. It's with the specific intent to influence judges, jurors, people, things of that nature. But for all intensive purposes, I mean, if your protest out there is not in relation to influencing the court or jury on something, uh, you know, I guess that would be acceptable. If you want to go out there and protest, let's say, oh, I don't know, let's protest that oranges are not orange, but they're they're a different color or something ridiculous.
Right.
You know that may not be true. You know, you want to say, or you know, protest that you're being lied to. The orange isn't orange; it's actually yellow. Uh, if you want to protest that out there outside the courthouse, yeah, that's fine. So long as you're not, your intent is not to influence the judge, jury, or all these other people to believe that the orange is actually yellow and not orange.
And that's
If you can
crazy.
get right,
If you were out there protesting to inform jurors of juror nullification, that would be
yeah,
influencing jurors,
yeah,
would be breaking that so-called law, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Which really isn't a law because any law that contradicts a constitutional protected right, which is your natural rights, as Drew pointed out, you know, your rights aren't given to you by the government. They're natural rights that you're born with that are protected by the government. So the First Amendment, you know, with your freedom of speech and your freedom of press, you know, your freedom to protest and assemble wherever you are, is protected by the First Amendment. But yet you have laws that contradict that, and you can ignore them with impunity. There's been Supreme Court cases that have said that time and time again. If there is a local law that contradicts and conflicts with the constitutionally protected right, you, as a human being, have the natural right and the legal right, since it's the Constitution, I mean, since the Supreme Court ruled on it, that you can ignore it with impunity. So it's up to us to actually do that. Thank you so much, Julian, who says they threw a party once they found out the good news. So thank you guys for
yes,
being with me along the way and for celebrating my victory, because it's definitely not only a win for me, but a win for we the people. Let me explain how this works. Why, or better yet, I'm gonna let cameraman do it since I do a lot of talking.
yeah.
Cameraman, why would a victory for the people versus Wildstar be a victory for we the people?
Well, a victory in People versus Wildstar would create a thing called case law, where these matters are decided on, and if you are, let's say, uh, you know, with your case there, well, let's give an example. Let's say you are walking down the street and it's illegal to say, oh, or, you can't wear a certain, piece of clothing on a certain day of the week. Well, that's your First Amendment protected, right, and your Ninth Amendment protected right to wear whatever you want to wear. And let's say you get arrested, and then you go to court, and a jury or a judge uh, finds you not guilty. That creates case law that stops anybody else from ever being arrested solely on the purpose because they were wearing a certain clothing on a certain time of day that wasn't allowed to be permitted at the time. So, in other words, if you are found, now we're in the appeals process, if they in the appellate court find you not guilty and overturn that conviction, that creates case law that will now protect people's right to record in court.
Woo! Woo, woo, woo. And that's what we want right there. We want to make sure that what happened to me, never happens to any other person in California, okay? Because unfortunately, unless it's a Supreme Court case, this would only protect the people of California. So all the people of California that have dealt with any type of First Amendment audit issues or type of situation where they were recording a law official, whether it was a police officer or a judge or prosecutor in their line of duty, that they would not be prosecuted against for exercising that right. And that's what we want. We want to make sure that, again, what happened to me doesn't happen to any other person in California, because what happened to me right now can happen to any person in California. You saw it happen with my case. It's no different than anyone else. It could happen in Cameraman. God forbid, it could happen to you, William Bay, Drew, Euban, anybody. It could happen to all of you out there watching, because until we make sure that there are laws on the books that, again, protect our natural rights, and that we have people respecting our natural rights as human beings, then we will have violators of those natural rights. And we see that happening time and time again, where those individuals get hired into positions of authority, like judicial officials, and they take away our natural rights as human beings, our human rights to live free. And I would love to continue living free. I'm thankful that I do get to continue living free so I can provide for my family and being a contributing member to my household and taking care of my son, But as I said during my speech, these people can quickly and easily and without hesitation rob me of my life, of my livelihood. That should not be the case in a free country. We as free people need to make sure that our human rights, our natural rights, are being protected. If they are being threatened by the same people that we put in position to protect our rights and uphold our rights, then we got a problem. That's a fundamental problem, and that's the same fundamental problem that started the separation of the United States from England. It used to be a territory of England, until 1776, when you had a few revolutionaries say, we're sick of all of the dictation coming from, thousands of miles away, another country, another territory, another land abroad, telling us what we can and cannot do with our lives here. We still have that happening now, unfortunately. And that's what happened with my case. And as I said, until we can get rid of it, it's going to continue happening to people out there like you. So William says, nope, I hit him with the paperwork to prevent it from happening to him. That's good. Right. But you shouldn't have to file paperwork for you to be, recognized as a free person in a free country. I mean, what sense does that make? I understand people out there about establishing identity and nationality and all of this other stuff. I applaud you guys for all of everything and what you're doing. But riddle me this. Why the hell would you have to do that anyway if you don't have to? You're asking the same people that's treating you like slaves to recognize you as free people, as individuals. Why the hell should we be asking for anything? We're men. We take it, right? That's what this country was built on, liberty or death, right? It wasn't liberty or let me file this paperwork so I can, ask permission. Yeah, right. What the hell? What's wrong with you people?
Yeah. So it's not cake or death.
Exactly. Let me get approval first before I, call myself a free man. The term citizen in legalese is the same as the term subject in common law. Thank you, Drew. Tell these people, it's the difference between a citizen and a person in legalese, and it happens in our court system. So as much as you want to consider yourself a natural person or a person, a sovereign person, you have a system that doesn't recognize that at all and will continue to treat you as a subject, no matter what your nationality may be, no matter what your ethnicity may be, no matter what your title of nobility may be. They don't give a damn. They don't give a damn, period. So that's it. I don't know how it works in Texas, but here in California, you will get thrown in jail with all that. Trust me. You have to overcome the presumptions because people are few, citizens are plenty. Exactly. That's why I said if we want to create a common law grand jury, we need people of California, people that recognize themselves as people, not citizens, to create that common law grand jury, which I am a part of, as well as my man, cameraman. So join us on the common law grand jury of California by emailing him or emailing me. You can do so at Wildstar at governorwildstar.com or visit my website, governorwildstar.com. Fill out one of my contact boxes and I'll contact you, okay? Don't spam me, okay? I get enough spam already. Don't take my email just to spam me or send me hate mail. Go with that shit, okay? I hear enough complaints and people like fucking, Chuck the Cuck that wants to drag me through the mud. So speaking of which, somebody asked me here. Let me bring up that comment so I can address that. Let me see. All right. So Byron, who says he's in the neighborhood with you, cameraman in Tahama.
Yes.
But Byron asked, why do you think the CALP has had such a negative reaction to your case? Okay, so a few things, Byron. The CALP, as far as its leadership and administrators, etc., as a party, as a political party, reason why they got such a problem with me is because I'm not a libertarian. I'm party member. Because of that, they can't back what's going on with me, and that causes and that's a negative reaction because you may have had people involved on the committee level, which I'm aware of, that wanted to have the party push for against what was going on, but because I'm not a libertarian anymore, they can't do anything about it, which sucks because that basically tells you what the Libertarian Party is all about. It's not that vehicle of change that we want it to be. It's just another political machine, just like the Republican Party.
Political affiliation.
What's that?
It sounds like racism with political affiliation, but not because of your skin color, but because, well, you're not a this party, so we can't support you, even though what's happening is wrong. You're not a member of this party, so we're not going to bother with you. Even though what's happening to you is wrong, and we recognize that, you're not part of us, so we can't be part of you.
Exactly. It's just like when a black person gets shot and killed by the cops, the Republican Party don't want to touch it. And just like, when there's some issues with a business being thrown under the bus, like our small businesses right now, the Democrats don't want to touch it. Or with me, where you have a black man exercising his constitutionally protected rights and being pretty much made an example of by an abusive system who's acting outside of its authority, being ignored by both political parties, both major parties. So that would have been a great opportunity for the Libertarian Party to step up. They dropped the ball. There's other people like Angela McArdle, who is the chair of the Libertarian Party of Los Angeles, who took it upon herself, okay? Because you can't stop people from acting as individuals. And so she took it upon herself to create this writing campaign so people could write letters to the judge and to the district attorney requesting leniency. Spike Cohen is another libertarian. Even though he's on the national level, he took it upon himself to bring attention to what was happening to me by simply sending out a tweet. Did the National Party of the Libertarian, did the National Libertarian Party send out a tweet talking about what was going on? Nope. Did the California Libertarian Party send out a tweet saying what was going on? Nope. Spike Cohen, candidate for previous candidate, former candidate for vice president of the Libertarian Party, did it himself. So that's what it takes. It doesn't take a party to make change, to create that change, to even be the catalyst for that change. It takes individuals, you people out there, okay? So that's my answer to you, Byron. I think that had a lot to do with it. Also, the type of libertarian that I am, like with Chuck Ham, fuck Chuck, who pretty much has a problem with me being a loudmouth, and seeming like I'm disrespectful, even though we have a system that doesn't respect us as a man. I'm not going to give somebody respect that hasn't first earned it, period. Okay. In order for you to give respect as a person, you got to give it first. And these are public employees. If they're not giving us respect, why should we, in any way, shape, or form, be giving it to them voluntarily? Unless you're a slave and you're happily bowing down to them as your master. Drain the cesspool and put Governor Wildstar in the first seat, followed with great people like him. You damn Skippy, man. I will drain the swamp of California quicker than you could say the word damn swamp, okay? Because if I get elected, Gavin Newsom, he better leave state before I take over. Nancy Pelosi, Maxine Waters, every damn corrupt politician, state official, city official in the state of California better pack up and leave before I take seat. Because I do, immediately, y'all being arrested. You're already guilty of crimes of humanity, and we're going to treat you just like we do just like everybody else in the state of California is treated when they are suspected of committing a crime. You're going to be thrown in jail first, then we're going to figure out, what to do or what charges, and then we'll have a trial, just like everybody else. So you can bail out, you can pay $15 million or $100 million. We're going to hit you hard with that bail, just like you do the hardworking people of this state, where you charge them $15,000, $20,000, knowing that they can't pay that. So yes, I definitely am pledging right here, right now, if you haven't heard it before, to clean the swamp, the cesspool of California of corruption. Indeed. Until you clear up the presumption, they will presume you're a slave. We're all slaves here, William. Get over it. The very meaning of sovereignty is that the decree of sovereignty makes law. American Banana Co. versus United Fruit Co. And then he has all of these codes right here. Now, Drew is dropping some legal knowledge for you right here, you guys, for you to do some research on your own. This video is in the time capsule. So it's always there for public record for you to do some research right now or in the future or whatever the case may be, which would be in the past since it's the future. But but yeah, research this information, do your homework, find out. Close down the corporation. They are breaking the laws every day. They act as judges. Yeah. So cameraman, another thing is when we made our appearances in September at these traffic court cases, they weren't judges. They didn't introduce themselves as judges. One of them was a commissioner. The other didn't even have a name on it, on his nameplate, which you can see in the video. So about commissioner's position in the courtroom. Can you break that down for the people out there that are watching so they can have a better understanding?
Sure. Well, basically what a commissioner is they're a lawyer that, is appointed by the court to to act like a judge, but he's not really a judge. He's training, if you will, to become one. And they sometimes forget, like the commissioner up here, I've sat in his court a couple times, and he'll get through two people and then all of a sudden remember what he's supposed to say at the beginning. And at any point during this hearing, if you do not want me presiding, commissioner presiding over this, you can object and request a judge actually hear this hearing. So he forgets that sometimes. But yeah, they're not judges. They're acting to become one, essentially, and they're appointed basically by courts to deal with things that they don't want to deal with, like traffic court or family court or civil harassment lawsuits, which are restraining orders and things of that nature. And sometimes they do criminal matters occasionally. But mostly, things like that, traffic court and family court, I've seen them in. But yeah, commissioners are not judges. They act like judges, but only if you agree to them presiding over your hearing, which most people don't even know, that you can object to the commissioner and request a judge. And referring to what happened in your case, the first one we had was a commissioner, Commissioner Flynn. And the second judge, and the one that got over 2 million views, we didn't even know who he was. He turned out to be an actual judge, but it was weird. The whole, normally, when you get on the stand, you're sworn in, but it was 1:30. Here it is going on 2 o'clock. There's no judge, and all of a sudden the clerk says, "All right, everybody stand up. We're going to swear everybody in." And even though I wasn't testified or anything, I was sworn in to tell the truth and whatnot. So help me God. And then about a few minutes later, this judge, I say that loosely because I really don't know for sure. He just came out and said, he walked out like this. "All right, I'm the afternoon traffic judge. Let's get started." No, there was no deputy that normally calls out, "Court is now in session, the honorable," whatever the person's name is. It was straight. He just walked out straight. "I'm the afternoon traffic judge. And he was walking like this, walking, but his head was facing the audience the whole time, just straight out from the corner. "I'm the afternoon traffic judge. Let's start." And then he went on this whole spiel, which I can't remember for the life of me, except for the very end, where he's sitting and he points to where the people would sit and the defendant would sit, and he goes, "And this area down here is called the gallows. and I have the power to send you as far as the Anaheim jail. And I'm like, this guy must have went and blew a load of coke in his nose and decided, all right, let me put on these robes and
Today,
play pretend.
right? He was in
Because
the
it's like,
like,
here you
I'm a
talk.
judge,
He
I'm a
started
judge,
going
I'm
on.
a judge. I'm a judge people, and I'm going to judge them good. He had to convince himself, you know, straight up. You don't deal with judges in admiralty court. Exactly. They're all administered, but they don't care.
Right.
They don't pay attention to that. They don't recognize their illegality or any of that, William. That's what happened with me as I objected to the commissioner's position and was basically held in contempt of court and prosecuted for contempt of court, even though it wasn't a courtroom because they weren't judges. You know, because the place looks like a court and he's dressed like a judge doesn't mean that it's an official courtroom and that he's an official judge. But that's what they would have us believe and have us continue to acknowledge and behave as according as such. So a few things here. Let's see. Gina, she says, what's next after all of this since I'm out? I'm still running for governor of California, Gina. So as you can see right there down at the bottom of the screen, please visit my website, wildstar2022.com. Okay. Check out my campaign website today. Find out how you can get involved with my campaign to become the next governor of California. Since I am running to replace Governor Gavin Newsom, and we will be having a recall election here in California by the end of the year. Okay. So let's just say that. So by the end of the year, I could be elected the new governor of California to take over his seat and get California back on track and up and running before the next gubernatorial election. So check out my website, wildstar2022.com. I have a debate next week, Saturday, the Patriots debate that will be coming up. I just did the Yes California debate. I will continue, going out there, doing other events, meeting people face to face, doing more meet and greets, more Q&As and, community events to let people know that I am a candidate and I am planning on being on that ballot for the recall election. So if you'd like to help me in my effort, please check out my website again, wildstar2022.com. Make a contribution today because I am a grassroots candidate. I'm not funded by the big corporations, big banks, Wall Street, special interests. None of those people are backing me. Big pharma, big oil, none of those people. They won't be giving me money anytime soon. I'm not expecting them to at any point. So in order to compete against the people that they will be pouring all of their money into, I need to make sure that I can cover my bases financially. So it's not much. And as I said, every contribution helps. So hit the donate button on the website, make a contribution today, and let's bring back liberty to California, okay? Julian, who says the only good judge is Judge Jim Gray. Yes, I was also asked if I was governor already, and Kamala Harris was transitioning to the VP spot. If I was already governor, who would I appoint to take her seat? I would probably do cameraman,
Thank you.
He seems like he'd be a great senator to me,
Yes.
Wouldn't you all agree? And that's the thing. We need more representatives of the public, more people, we the people, that are reflective of the community, not the elites, not the polished politicians, not the career candidates and politicians or whatever the case may be. We need some fresh blood, some newbies. And if we want to wipe our slate clean and start from scratch, I would suggest getting in people that had no political history whatsoever, no affiliations, in relationships that could possibly influence their servitude as as a public representative. So I would definitely support him. You know, probably would have got him in there, or like you said, Julian, Judge Jim Gray. He would have been a good one. I'd probably appoint him judge, but Judge Jim Gray, he didn't respond to Free Wildstar call to action. You know, you would think an actual judge would know all about this, and since he's a libertarian judge, you know, he would do everything in his power to fight against that injustice. But no calls from Judge Jim Gray. Think about these things, people. You jump on these bandwagons all because of name recognition. Properly vet these people. You know, send them through the ringers to see if they really are truly who they are. Because you can talk a good game. You can talk all day. It's when you're showing up and have to actually do something, when you have to act to where your true mettle is shown. And that's what I've come to find in being a Libertarian Party member, is there's a lot of people that like talking about being a libertarian all day. They want to talk about how you shouldn't have to need a license in order to drive or to go fishing or to own a gun or to own a business, but we'll turn around and do all of those things just to appease the state. They will talk about how they're against victimless crimes like Chuck fucking Ham, and then turn around and say people need to be thrown in jail like Chuck fucking Ham. You see what I'm saying? You got a whole bunch of hypocrites and people out there contradicting themselves only to be in a position to where they can advance others and make things easier for the rest of us. They're the barriers. They're the ones holding the rest of us up, because they're the fucking gatekeepers. And a lot of people out there may say, I don't know who the fuck Chuck Ham is. And that's fine. You shouldn't know who the fucking bastard is. But if you're involved with the Libertarian Party of California, you know who Chuck is because he's involved with the Libertarian Party of California. So as a candidate, you're going to come across him. You know what I'm saying? If you run in a chapter or an affiliate, you're going to come across him. If you're fundraising for candidates or doing anything that's party related, you're going to come across him. So even though you're a registered libertarian, you vote libertarian, all of this other stuff, you don't know who the fuck Chuck Ham is. You could care less. Chuck Ham is in the position in the Libertarian Party to stop certain activity that could help us all, like the party getting involved in supporting Free Wildstar campaigning and getting me out of jail and contacting people like Judge Jim Gray, you know? So you have to compete with actors and porn stars in this election. We don't know yet. It's yet to be seen as far as who's going to step up to the plate to be running for governor. But so far, like I said, I'll be there. Miss Waggy in the house. He says, well done. What's up? I appreciate you for being here, Miss Waggy, all the way from Uganda. I got Ugandan libertarians in the house as well. I'll contact George Soros and have him send me a bunch of the recall ballots like he did with the presidential election. Hey, contact him, have him give me some money like he did Black Lives Matter, and see if he'll actually cough up some funds so we can change things for the Black community. For real, you know, you plead guilty, I'll tell you exactly what's going to happen. Nothing. Yeah, if you plead guilty, don't enter any plea, even though contest is considered a not guilty plea. I don't plead at all, and that's part of the problem. You have a certain time to withdraw a guilty plea. Absolutely. I never entered a plea. I was found guilty by a jury. So that's what's going to make my appeal even easier, is because I never pleaded. Cameraman seems to know more about law than Kamala ever did. Exactly. That's why I said he'd be a better senator than her.
Yes. And for a person like her who wants to talk about marijuana reform and whatnot, okay, she made a career of criminalizing minorities for marijuana possession. In her time in, a lot of the
Tell him,
reason why there's
cameraman.
corruption and corrupt police officers that still have their job in Orange County is because of her. So,
Tell him, cameraman.
she's one to talk.
They don't know. You got a lot of ass kissers out there that just see the fame and celebrity. Oh my God, it's Kamala Harris. And like, you guys are just, you're starstruck, you fucks. Wake up. And that's the thing is, I wouldn't be so uptight and angry about it if it didn't affect all of us. If people weren't dying, because of it. If people weren't being thrown in jail and for real having to suffer because of these people like Kamala Harris. You heard, cameraman. He knows a lot of her policies, including Prop 64, which she supported, has not helped the inner city, has not helped people of color, has not helped black people. We want to talk about just black people. Well, she ain't helped black people. She don't give a fuck about black people. She never have. She never will. And y'all still support her. You voted her into office. You got her into office. What are you going to do to get her out of office if you think she is on your team? I've noticed the LPs and presidential nominees usually stay quiet after the election. We don't hear much from Clark, Badarnik, I don't know what the fuck. Anyways, you're right. That's how it is with the majority of candidates that are running for president, whether it be for the Libertarian Party, Republican, or Democrat, as they fade to black. These people, they're actors, they're performers. They get on stage in this political theater and they sell themselves like salesmen to make you believe they are on your side. They don't give a fuck. Which is why when it comes to the in-between times in elections, you don't see them on the streets in the community actually doing things like me, who get ignored completely because of that. You know what I'm saying? But that's why you shouldn't take them seriously. I don't take Donald Trump seriously. I don't see why anybody out there would support Donald Trump and think he's serious about getting rid of the deep state. Where is he right now? That motherfucker golfing. You know what I'm saying? He don't give a damn about you. He don't give a damn about your struggling. He don't give a damn about your hardships. He could give a fuck about you, people. So stop giving a fuck about him and thinking that he's on your side and he's your savior and he's going to fix things. He don't give a damn, which is why he wasn't there during our troubles and trials and tribulations, why he's not there now, and why he won't be there in the future. Get your heads out of the clouds and get them in the game where they belong. The Democrats know how to use the word magic when they speak. You should study the way Nancy Pelosi and Joe Biden perform because they are very repetitive. I do my best to study them, but also at the same time, I study them to find out what I should not be doing. You know what I mean? Because people can see through their facade. It's sad that the sheeple, the majority of people are brainwashed into believing that they are on their side. But, we got to look at what they're doing, look through that, and find out how we can cut through to the masses. I was actually just talking to cameraman about this and saying, when I do shit posting, that it gets more of a response than actual, factual information. So, cameraman, what's one of the ways that you think, since you've been kind of quiet over there for a minute, hearing me rant, what's one of the ways that you think we can, sharpen our tongues and streamline this message to where we're able to connect with people? Because we talk about freedom and liberty and our rights, and it just seems to go over people's heads. They get this glazed eye look and, seem lost. How do we bring them back to reality, would you say?
Well, from what I've seen is one of the things people seem to really gravitate towards and pay attention to is memes. And like you said, shit posts. If we can find a way to communicate it in that sort of way, it seems like people understand and pay attention. If I put up a video of me sitting there explaining, my rights, no one's gonna watch it. But if I go and put up a video of me filming a cop and him making a fool of himself and me putting funny sound effects and clips and things into that like I do, people pay attention to it and listen to while I'm explaining about whether it be the First Amendment, the Fourth Amendment, or whatever constitutionally protected right it may be. People pay attention to it because they're laughing and having you know being entertained, rather than someone who actually, you can, find the same sort of information about your rights by picking up, either reading the Constitution, or, I don't expect everybody to read the entire vehicle code book, but hey, at least pick up the vehicle code book or go online and actually read the law. And some people don't, just simply don't want to read, but if you just freaking pick up the book or read the damn web page, you'd see, like with California Penal Code 148G, that says that the fact that a person takes a photograph or makes a video recording in a public place, or where he or she has the right to be, can't be constituted as a crime. Or a reason to detain that person. If you read that, and then when you see Penal Code 166, the contempt of court, and they're trying to hold you in contempt of court, that law for recording, and then when you have another law that says, no, you can't arrest somebody for simply recording, there's a conflict there. And nobody,
Right.
wants to read and look at the actual legal wording of things to understand the loopholes and the nature. It's like the police tape. Okay, you read on it, it says do not cross, doesn't say anything about going around. So as long as you don't, go across that tape, you can literally have it be rubbing up against your chest and walk along it and go around. They can make a whole circle of police tape and you can walk around that entire circle, so long as you do not, cross it, as in, go through that line. You're good. And people, simply reading the, words do not cross, it says do not go
Right.
around. Just simple reading, you can understand, a lot of things. Like with that's one thing with the picketing too, follow up on that. The deputy said, you can't be in front of the courthouse, it's too loud, and this and that, and the law says that too, within the vicinity of the courthouse. And then the deputies say, but if you stand on the public street, then it's not too loud. So, well, wait a minute. The whole issue is that you can't be picketing in the area of the courthouse, but it's okay to be on the public sidewalk in front of the courthouse, but the actual sidewalk that leads up to the courthouse and where the entrance and everything is, where we were, well, that's not too loud, but 10 feet over there you won't be too loud.
Even though it's all public property, so really we
Right,
should.
we the people paid for this building, courthouse, and steps and everything up to it.
Right, exactly. Yeah, reading is very fun, definitely to the mental. So exercise your mental capacity, expand your mental capacity by reading. It is fun. It's fundamental. Do it while you can before they burn all the books, or prevent you from accessing your ebooks, and you won't have any access to any knowledge at your fingertips. So do you understand? Do you stand under? Do you agree with? More legalese explaining by James. Thank you so much, James, for breaking down the term, do you understand? When you're asked that by a law official, that's what they mean is, do you stand under or agree with their authority? Reading is very, very fun to the mental. I already put that one up. My bad. Don't be on the public house protesting. Go over to the public sidewalk. That idea gives me COVID.
Right.
Right, it is a bad idea. And James, you definitely will be able to interview me. If you want to do another interview, I'd be happy to. I can explain that again, since a lot of people need a refresher course. You know, every time it seems like you got to remind them of certain information. So we can talk about little L, big L libertarians all day. I'd be happy to talk more about what I experienced and, of course, what I'm going through with my campaign for governor of California. But he says what really needs to be addressed is the corporatism, cronyism that is turning this country into a totalitarian state. Definitely. I talk about it all the time. I mean, with the gaffe of Gavin Newsom going and being caught indoors at the French Laundry restaurant, you know, we can talk about that all day. What we really should be paying attention to is him meeting with lobbyists there. I mean, it was a business meeting. What was it all about? It was about our water. Look up Poseidon Water Company. Okay, Poseidon Water Company. It's out in Long Beach, or you know, out there in SoCal. And this Poseidon company, one of their lobbyists, was at the French Laundry with Gavin Newsom that day. So he was talking to him. He was talking to medical experts that are also on this panel for the coronavirus and the Pfizer vaccine before the vaccination rollout. You see, they were coming up with the business deal about how to roll out this vaccine and push this drug on you, take more of your money, take more of your rights away, or better yet, refuse you of more of your rights. And again, do what they can to keep themselves in power and you oppressed. That's what their main plan is all about. Please go back and answer my question about military. Let me see, D. Thank you for bringing that up. She says, what are your views about military standing and security at the White House? I definitely do not think we should have military standing outside of our White House. That should be a red flag right there, that we have a standing army protecting government officials, our own army protecting government officials. And government officials are our employees. We hired them with our vote. We pay them with our tax dollars. We pay their salaries. So military being outside of the White House or, you know, any building in Washington should be a big red flag to every American that our country is being hijacked by a de facto government, you know, and they have all of the guns, they have all of the heavy artillery, they have all of the weaponry to fight against us. What are we going to fight back against them with? You know,
and there's on a note there. If you need a whole army of armed men outside your place of employment because you're so scared, maybe ever come to think that maybe you're the problem?
Right.
Maybe exactly. Maybe if you weren't the problem, you wouldn't need all those armed men to protect you because so many people are mad at you.
Exactly. And why should we allow those armed men to be provided by us, the taxpayers? You know, if they want to provide their own armed guards or private security, let them be able to do so. But they shouldn't be our servicemen, you know, and women, our service people. We should not be allowing that. I'm sure cameraman being from the NorCal has a real understanding about the water rights and how corrupt the water rights has become. Exactly. Oh yeah, I'm in Central Cal. I know I've learned a lot about, you know, water rights and having a house with your own well on your own property and being charged by the state for drinking your own damn water. What, you know, what sense does that make ever? Why are these laws on the books? Governor Wildstar would get rid of these stupid laws and regulations and, you know, get the way things should be to where we are able to live free. D agrees with my response about the military. Thank you. I'm glad I was able to answer that fully for you and hit that spot on. And Julian says, anyone you would like to see as your lieutenant governor? Yeah, cameraman. Cameraman, right here. I'm gonna hire this guy once I get elected. He's gonna be working for me doing something, okay? But as far as right now, Lieutenant Governor, if I were elected governor during the recall election, I would have to work with Nickolas, who is the current lieutenant governor. I know a lot of you out there don't know who the hell she is, but she is the lieutenant governor. She will be declaring the special election once we have confirmed we have enough signatures to recall our governor. So I'd be forced to work with her over the next year or so into the next gubernatorial election in 2022. But personally, I am supporting Marcus Ruiz Evans of Yes, California. He is planning on running for lieutenant governor in 2022. So I am endorsing Marcus Ruiz Evans right now as the future lieutenant governor candidate for California in 2022. But hopefully you'll be able to get a chance for him or someone like Cameraman or someone, that's noble of character and more fitting of that position to serve as a representative of we the people. So we've been talking for an hour and 30 minutes, Cameraman. I don't want to hold you up too long, or we got a few more comments and then we're going to get on out of here.
We're good.
All right, cool. William M. Long Bay says, you mean you didn't know we are under martial law? Oh, yeah, I know. Do you know? Do you know, Cameraman, that we're under martial law? I think he knows. Order from chaos, the way of politics, especially by Democrats. That is Democrats. That is why they never actually fix most problems. You're right about that. I mean, if they can continue perpetuating the issue and elongating the problem, it validates their position. So as long as they can kind of make it seem like they have a need in the community, then they have purpose. Let's get rid of that altogether. You know what I'm saying? Let's actually solve some things, fix some things, and, get some shit done around here so we can live free, like Euban says. Stay free, everyone. Stay free, stay alive, stay happy, stay true, stay vigilant. You must keep doing all of those things, because right now, as I said, you got to keep objecting against all of what's wrong in our world. Because if we don't object, if we stop protesting, if we remain silent, then we are allowing those things to continue to happen. We got to stop it right now. Okay. Amen, says James Casey. Much love to you and many blessings, brother. D, last question. She says, how do we remove the politicians? Good question, D. That's how you do it. Last question and best question goes to D, who says, how do we remove the politicians? Do what we're doing out here in California, okay, D? I don't know if you are in California, but recall Newsom, recall politicians, do what we're doing out here in California. Recall. I don't know what your state law is, if you guys allow it, but out here in California, we have the right. We the people have the right to recall our governor. So that's
recall what we're going. That ugly man.
Yes, exactly. Psycho. But more so, what these politicians should be doing. Oh, and so on the state level, what you can do is impeach. You can also, or on the national level, you can impeach. You can also do that on the state level. A lot of people don't know. If you want to have your local politician impeached or whatever removed from office, contact other Congress members, other people in your state legislative body, to have them file articles of impeachment to remove that state official or that local official, whatever. I don't know why they didn't initiate that process here in California against Gavin Newsom. That's how you know they're just still playing games here. Because if the state legislators, if Kylie and all of those other guys that are actual, elected representatives wanted to get rid of Newsom, they could enter articles of impeachment to have him removed from office. So the fact that they're going through this whole recall process shows you that they still have some sort of interest or ulterior motive. You should be curious about what that is. Okay. But thank you, D. Thank you, all of the questions which are still coming in. I got comments from Julian who says, good night, y'all. Long live liberty. Long live liberty to you, brother man. Much love to you as well. And Byron Stevens, who says, send your family my love. You got my vote. Woo, woo, woo. That's right. Right. I got Tehama County backing me right there with Byron, who says he will vote for me. That's what I want right there. For people like Byron and D, who says, I'm on it. Thank you, D. Please spread the word. Let other people know how we can get involved in our political system, remove our corrupt politicians, and make room for people like me to get in office and set the record straight for once. We recall Davis. We can recall Newsom. Absolutely, that's what we want to do. And God bless you, D. Thank you so much. She says, God bless you both. Me and cameraman in the house, and nice chatting with you, James. He says, nice chatting with you. Hope he catches up earlier next time. Good night and God bless. Good night and God bless you, James, Julian, D, Byron, all you guys, William, Miss Swaggy, Drew. I'm scrolling here, so I may be missing a few names. And if I did miss your name, Dixathios, Cade, all you guys, thank you for all of the comments, for all of the questions, for just chiming in, for watching this video. If you are watching and you didn't say a word, I truly appreciate you for being a part of this conversation as well. Don't remain a silent citizen forever, okay? And you being a part of this conversation definitely makes that null and void. You are not silent. What we want to do right now is go out there and exercise our rights, use our voice, and put everything that's wrong in our community right once again. We can do that, but it starts first with people power. And of course, it starts first with action. We got to take action. My man, cameraman right here, he takes action. He shows up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He wakes up at 6-5 in the morning. You know what I mean? And he's a young guy too. You know what I'm saying? So for all of you people out there saying I'm old and making excuses and shit, or I got school and whatever the case may be, no excuses from cameraman. No excuses from Wildstar. Okay, we're out here, we're fighting a good fight, and we need for you to join us. Okay, so cameraman, is there anything you want to say to the people out there before we go?
Thanks everybody for tuning in and supporting Governor Wildstar here, and get involved. I mean, the more the merrier, especially any of you young people out there watching. I mean, I started getting involved in my rights. I met this man at a DUI checkpoint when I was 16 and a half. Woo! Now I'm going on almost 22, fighting for my rights, and hopefully we're going to have this man, let me, where am I? Right here, this man here gets elected to our new governor.
Me, that's me. Yeah.
Thank you. Not the man behind him.
Hey, if I don't end up getting elected, we go groove you so you could get ready to take over that seat. So
there we go.
Okay. But cameraman, I do appreciate you for standing by me this entire time, standing for we the people and standing up for our rights and our liberty. So thank you for being a part of this conversation and for the fight for freedom, brother.
Definitely. Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. Well, take care until next time. All right, you guys. And I am again Nickolas Wildstar, candidate for California governor, signing off. Until next time, I'm a free man and I would like to remain that way. So please help me become the next governor of California so we can change some of these stupid laws that throw people like me, innocent people like me, in jail and make them criminals for victimless, nonviolent crimes. Visit my website, wildstar2022.com. Right there at the bottom of your screen, wildstar2022.com. Love people, all people, no matter what. You know what I'm saying? No matter the divisions, put it all aside. And here in California, if we could do that for once in our lives, we'd be able to bring back liberty. That's what I'm here for. So visit the website, make a contribution. I am still appealing the charges. So if you'd like to help with that effort, please make a contribution to my GoFundMe, gofundme.com/free wildstar / whatever the case, free wildstar on GoFundMe. Make a contribution today, since there is a small window for filing an appeal, and I need to do that as soon as possible. So please make a contribution so I can get an appellate attorney and fight against these corrupt ass charges. Okay. But thank you guys all for being here, for being part of the conversation, all of the comments. Check out the cameraman on YouTube. Check me out on YouTube. Subscribe to both of our channels. And until next time, long live liberty, y'all. I'm about this bitch. Peace.